Horseshoe Bend. Look behind us. So deep. We are going to do a 360 spinning. We have to watch our steps. You spin too fast. You spin too fast. So there are lots of tourists here. You have to get.
So many tourists.
Yeah. So now we can look down. There's a horseshoe like this. You see?
And all
Not
the
many
tourists.
We are lovely Flottante.
I'm Mark.
This is Rebecca. You should know us by now, right? Because you've been watching our video, you should know us.
Thank you very much.
So there are two parts, upper antelope and lower antelope. Upper antelope is really popular, so most of people go there, and it's
Because
really
it's
difficult.
wider.
And it's difficult to get the tickets to the upper. But lower, on the other hand,
more available all the
it's
time.
more available and only 20 minutes.
But you
every
climb
20
on that
minutes.
one and
Yeah.
it's a lot narrower.
Narrower, and then you have to go
But
up
easy
and down.
to take photos, I guess.
Yeah, the tour guide told me upper antelope is for serious photographers, and lower is more for selfie. It's also cheaper and much less crowded. So if you just want to take a pictures of the antelope, it would be more ideal if you go to the lower antelope. And
The really well-known photos are from
Yes.
that
So
canyon. So it kind of
the
got good
photos you can
advertisement.
look you can search on the internet or from the upper Antelope. So anyhow, so every day they have one photographer tour at 11:30, only one of the day. So the others are all for tours. For tourists, so not serious photographers.
And if you want to take photos, you got to take the photography tour. Otherwise, it's not worth your time.
So the photographer tour costs you $108, and the sightseeing tour. Besides 11:30 tour, you have to pay more, like $50 for sightseeing tour for the 11:30 tour. Others is only $37 per person for the sightseeing tour.
So basically, if you're going to take photographs, you want to take the expensive tour, which is the 11 o'clock tour. It's hard to get into, but you're allowed to use a tripod. The other tours, you can't use a tripod. If you don't care so much and you just want to take selfies, either go to Lower Canyon or go one of the cheaper time slots.
Yeah, the sightseeing tour. Only $37. And the photographer tour, you can stay in the canyon for 2 hours.
But it was $80, right? 85.
No, 108.
108.
108 for photographer tour. You get to stay there 2 hours, but you have to.
When you think about all the gas you drive to get there,
and you really want to take a good
it's an exceptional place to visit. You will remember it for the rest of your life, I believe, in my opinion at least.
On the way to the Antelope entrance, it's really dusty.
So get a cloth for your face.
For your nose especially.
And when it's hot, definitely bring lots of water, and it can be really hot in the summer.
So you have to, on the truck drive, because it's really dusty, it's driving in a sandy area, so you have to keep your mouth closed. Otherwise, you'll eat sand in your mouth.
Crunchy for a while.
Like you're eating something.
So you definitely want a wide-angle lens for the photography tour. You're going to do 4 to 30-second shots, aperture openings, and you want to put a dust cover, take a Ziploc baggie and cut the lens hole out, tape it all around so you don't get dust in your camera. You're not going to be changing lenses. People will try and do that, and it's just a mistake because they're throwing dust up in the air to give you the light beams, so we don't recommend that at all. You have to have a tripod, and when you're on a photography tour, the guide, if he's a good one, he will block both ends of the entrance area that you're in the room you're photographing.
So the sightseeing tours cannot go
past so I had like 5 minutes with my group of 6 to take shots without people walking through. And it's really important to get the shots, otherwise you're not going to get what you need. And you'll make some mistakes too. Try and keep as small a camera gear as you can, because some of the areas are very narrow. I brought a backpack and it was really too much. I had to take it off to get through some of the sections to squeeze through. So the other thing is we used a gimbal for her with the video, and what that does, that will give you still shots. So no matter how I move, the camera, the balance will be quite. It's not, I don't have a camera on here right now, but basically what will happen is the camera won't move very much and you'll have a steady shot. And you can pan it left and right slowly and see the platform. Well, it's not balanced right now, but if it was balanced when this camera we're using was on it.
Yeah, this one is really good for video shooting. So
and with a good low light camera like the one we used, the Olympus Tracker, we really you had some really good shots. And then for still shots, I used a larger format camera with a 10 to 20 millimeter lens. Most of what I shot was really low ISO and to keep the noise down, and low aperture settings, open settings from 4 to 30 seconds. And then the other thing you want to bring is a can of air or a brush, because your lens is going to get dusty. And I found that when I did some upper shots with the skylight light shooting down, you could see the dust. So yeah, I didn't catch it. I cleaned it off twice, but still it was dusty by the end of the last set of shots. So if the light comes in towards the lens, it'll pick up that dust. And that's really important.
Oh, as for the sightseeing tour, selfie stick is not allowed.
Yeah.
So you cannot bring selfie stick. No big backpack. So
No.
the thing you
Just
can
water.
bring, yeah, just water. If you don't want to hold
Small
it in your
camera.
hand, you can put the vest, fill the fanny bag or something, like you go for hiking. So that kind of small size bag is allowed. So personally, in my opinion, I didn't have time at all to drink.
I barely did. I was busy. You know, you're really trying to rush to the shot. You only get about, at the most, 5 minutes per setting. And sometimes you're rotating out tripods during that period of time. So I was sweating and all worked out by the time I got done with that photo shoot for 2 hours.
Yeah, so for serious photographer, you don't have time. But for the sightseeing tour, as me, the tour, I don't even have time to stop and drink because the crowds just keep pushing you, and the guys just keep telling you, move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward. So you've been pushing.
Like
You don't want to move. You want to get a shot. We just want to remind you, the water you don't really need to bring a lot when you are in a canyon, because you don't have time to drink it at all.
But don't let the crowds discourage you, because it is such a beautiful work of nature. So we really enjoyed our time there.
So if you don't want to beat the crowds, you can choose to go to you can choose to go to Lower Antelope. Also, when you are in the canyon, in the Antelope Canyon with the tour, you stay close with the tour guide, because you will hear what he talk about the canyon. Yeah, the tour guide will introduce the canyon.
we keep turning the camera off when the cars go past, but it's just impossible. They just keep going by. We know the audio is not going to be very good, so we apologize.
Okay, so stay close with your tour guide, because he will introduce how the line, the shape,
the picture, and
how to show a picture, and how they come.
And a lot of information about history.
About the canyon, and the word you can look it up, and then you can see a heart shape, and you can see a bear, and what else? You can see the line.
I saw King Kong.
So anyway, so the tour guide, they all know how to shoot the good pictures. So after the Antelope tour, we went to Horseshoe Bend.
Right, the Colorado winds around in a big horseshoe shape.
It's
fairly famous.
Because we didn't plan to go there.
No, we just kind of ran. We knew, we discovered it was on our way back to home base.
And we just saw the sign on the side of the road, and we said, oh, why don't we stop for a second? And then so we stopped the motorcycle, and then we walk up to the Horseshoe Bend.
Fighting the crowds again.
Fighting lots of
so many tourists.
Yeah.
Well, we were too, but there were a lot of tourists.
Lots of tourists from other countries, not from USA.
So the way the Horseshoe Bend was created, it was mainly water erosions for thousands and thousands of years, during the time of the dinosaurs even. And every year a little more of the canyon gets cut as the water runs down.
So be prepared if you want to go to Horseshoe Bend. You have to walk a little bit, and it was really hot that day yesterday. So make sure to bring water.
And a wide angle lens again.
Yeah. And you definitely need a good pair of shoes to walk, to take the walk up there. We saw some people there in their flip-flop. We don't know how can they walk in that rocky road up there and on the rock.
It's desert, it's sandy, but if you get off, there's burrs and sharp objects that'll not make you happy, or your feet at least.
It's kind of slippery too, right? So be prepared: water, sunscreen, hat, sunglasses. All these things is needed. Yeah, important for go to the Horseshoe Bend.
So we hope you enjoyed this movie. Thank you for viewing.
Stay tuned for our next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe for our next video. Thank you.
Bye.